Good afternoon, everybody. This is DeployReady for our federal contracting series where we cover a bunch of niches in government contracting. Today, we're going to focus a little bit more on law firms and how they support the government. One, we'll be looking for contracts today that are live to see what are out there. We're going to be exploring that together, but we like to use this series whether you're interested in doing federal work for yourself or whether you're a law firm that's already doing work or whether you're a law firm that wants to step into contracting. This is for everybody. So if you're curious, tag along. We'll talk about these contracts in details. And if you're a law firm then or a lawyer, this might be for you. So we're going to go through this. DeployReady is a platform to look up federal contracts that helps you from beginning to end, and we're just going to log in and use the platform to see what's out there today. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and log in our platform, and then we're going to go up to Contract Finder. And we're going to go up to NAICS code search, and we don't need to remember what the codes are. So if you're a lawyer and you want to see if there's any lawyer type work out there, we're just going to go with 51110 offices of lawyers and NAIC code. I call it NAICS. I don't know what you call it. It's for short. We'll go ahead and search to see what's out there already. So we are seeing about 6 results, and there are about 6 contracts, 4 of them that are open. So you can see when the deadlines are coming up for these ones. And I'm going to go ahead and click National Qualified Representative Program. That one seems a little interesting. So what it's going to do is it's going to take us to SAM.gov to where this is posted. So this is National Qualified Representative Program. This is the Justice Department, offices of boards and divisions, JMD procurement staff, services staff. All right, let's see what this is about. So you have your publishing date, you have your offers due date. So the 13th due for offers. There's no set asides for this one. The description is the government seeking contractor to provide qualified personnel for legal services, including legal representation to certain underrepresented detained individuals found by an immigration judge or Board of Immigration Appeals. If this is the niche that you focus on, this might be something that you're interested in. So what I'm going to go ahead and do with this is I'll download all the attachments individually. Go ahead, allow, download them. Go ahead and close it opens up in a separate window. I don't like it when it does that, but I'm going to go ahead and get all these files. Make sure I got all of them. Let's see, the last one was a PWF, PWS. Let's see. I think I did get the PWS. All right, I'm going to go ahead and double check to make sure I got all that. All right, let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the platform. I'm going to go to Analyze RFP. I'm going to find the files that I have. And let's see, I have them all right here. So you can download them all at one time. So these attachments, there's many. I'll go ahead and show you in a little bit of how long they could be. They could be anywhere from 15 pages long to about 40 pages long with multiple attachments. And this one has some Excel spreadsheets that you're going to want to look into. They're probably going to be talking about base year requirements and option year requirements and kind of giving you what the CLINs look like, which is position descriptions or the type of work that they're going to be asking for these contracts. But this one's kind of interesting to me. I'm not in that niche, but I always like learning new things. When I was working in Guantanamo Bay, there was a lot of lawyers and representation that were going on over there, both immigration and for the detainees that were over there as well. This one is pulled up, so it'll go over, tell you what the excuse me, what the special requirements are. And this one seems pretty interesting. I'm gonna go to AI brief and see what came up, so it summarizes it for us to tell us essentially what it is. So the period of performance for this contract should begin in August 1st, 2026, and not extend beyond July 31st, 2027. Plus 4 one-year option periods, which may be exercised at the government's requests, representing a few-year contract. So This one looks kind of interesting, so I'm going to see if my company is eligible, and I'm going to run an eligibility check. This is something that the platform does. I don't know if there's any other platforms that do it, but essentially I put my company profile there, and it should flag that, this is not the type of performance that I could do myself, because that's not what my business SCS code focuses on. But I'm going to go ahead and run it anyway, so it could tell us, give us an idea of what requirements are out there. So if you're a law firm or attorney or somebody who is looking at getting at this type of work, you're going to get a good idea of what type of requirements you should expect out of this contract. And I usually like to run this first before I go into excruciating detail with contracts, because right here's going to flag things that will tell you right away whether you're qualified to do this or not. And I don't want to waste my time up front or at the back end when I could be looking this up at the front end and knowing that I should just move on and check out the other three contracts that were available that aren't closed yet. So this probably be a few more seconds and it'll run and give us an eligibility check. And again, this is an eligibility check based off of my customer. So the platform looks, or I'm sorry, off of my company. The platform looks through the lens of my company to tell me whether this is worth it or not. And it'll do the same for your company if you decide to use the platform. But again, we'll be going over this for those that are interested, that may not want to use the platform, have a procurement office with personnel that already do it for yourself, which is good. But I'll kind of go ahead and tell you and show you what the company requirements look like. So you should be registered in the SAM. That's first and foremost. It's a basic requirement for everything. I'm already registered. The platform already sees that I am. This is not a set aside for small business concerns. It's full and open competition. So anybody could bid for this one if you have a company that's registered in SAM.gov. Small business subcontracting plan required if offers other than a small business under NAICS code 541110. So I'm not verified with this, so it flags it correctly. And if you want to know what that is, you could click on what the Federal Acquisition Regulation is, and you can read it for yourself right here. So you're not going to a separate website, which is ECFR.gov, and checking it out, running through the requirements yourself. It takes a lot of time to do that. GAP, contractor performance must meet high quality standards consistent with industry best practice for legal services. I don't do it, so that's a gap of mine, as well as this other gap right here, which is organizational conflict of interest disclosure required prior to award and throughout performance. I don't have any of that on my record. And then you can kind of go see what the other requirements are. All right, so I'm interested to say I have all the requirements for this. I'm going to go ahead and go to bid economics and see what it pulled up. And so this is where it looks, the platform looks at it like it's a project manager to what all the attachments state. And it's going to give you recommendations of what you're going to be looking for here. And so it tells you that they need immigration attorney, supervising quality control attorney, paralegal, interpreter services. So that's going to have to be provided in this contract too as well. You're probably going to need a program manager, and then you're going to need to do mandatory facility access compliance training, which probably doesn't cost you anything, but this is a recommendation. It's inferred by the platform. So if you're looking at these prices, don't $23 an hour for an immigration attorney, that's off. So what you always want to do is you want to see what the government's paying for these services, and so you could price accordingly. If you haven't done a contract, you're going to want to see what the rates are, and you could just go to pricing lookup over here, and you can look up attorney rates by labor rates right here, and it pulls from government data sources to tell you. So attorney. So let's see what the rates are that the government pays for. So this is a GSA calculation plus ceiling rate. So these are GSA contracts that are already awarded to some of these companies, so that if the government needs services per position type, they already know they could pull at that labor rate for these ones. So if you're pricing for this contract, you could kind of see where the range is for this, where the median rate is, what the minimum rate and the maximum rate, and you can kind of go into what vendors are already offering to the government which is approved by the government so they could pull from for other contracts, and gives you an idea of where you're going to price. And then I don't see a general counsel there, so I'm going to go ahead and look for general counsel. And see what that goes for. So for an assistant general counsel, you're going to see $152 an hour for that rate, and then $177 for general counsel. So it kind of give you an idea of what's going on, and you could always go back to your contract that you just analyzed and go back to bid economics and kind of work this the way you want to. So that way you can save for your notes later when you want to bid for this, or put in your proposal for this. But anyways, this is a good one. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the doc and see if I could get this up so where you could see it. I'm gonna go over and talk about one of the questionnaires or the attachments to see what they're asking for and how that looks like. Let's see. All right, I had to edit that one a little bit because I had to switch the screens. But I'm going to go ahead and open up the attachments for you one at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and get the Excel files first and pull them over. Let's see, questions list. There is no questions yet posted, so nobody has asked the contracts officers anything yet. This one gives you a breakdown of the list of immigration courts by Arizona, California, and Washington, as well as nationwide, to reference when looking up this proposal. Facilities, detention facilities. So you're looking at the place of work is going to be across Arizona, California, and Washington. I guess that's why they referenced the list. So Eloy, Florence, the ICE processing facility in California. You could read that on your own, as well as, let's see, I'm going to pull up the performance requirement standards to give you guys a good idea of initial cases, entry of appearance, and all these stipulations that only you guys know about in detail. I couldn't tell you anything about them, but if you guys are interested on this, I'll make sure that the contract that I reference is going to be in the video description below. So anyways, this gives you kind of a good idea of what's going on with this contract. You can read it through yourself, but the platform summarizes it for you, and they are looking for legal support at those locations. And let's see, I think there's a file that breaks down by CLIN. I want to make sure. Nope. I want to make sure you guys see it before I move on. Let's see. We've already gone through that. There's your base period from August to July 31st, 2027, and then all the way up to 2031. So it tells you how long that's going to be. But anyways, hopefully this was helpful for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and cut this video right here. I'll be going over some other niches in the market to let other companies know what they could be doing and how they could be supporting governments and what contracts are out there. And I'll pull from live data so you guys see what there is now, so you guys have an understanding of what you could do now, if this is interesting work that you want to pursue or not. But if you have any comments about this solicitation, if you're an attorney or a law firm, you have some feedback on this video, go ahead and comment below and let me know what you like to see more, and I'll go ahead and cover those on the videos that we have going forward, and look forward to see what we could look up next. And thanks for tagging along. Also, a happy 4th of July. That's coming up tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great day. You guys go get your hot dogs and hamburgers and spend time with your family and get your dose of sun. Until next time, take care.